Good morning, Malacanang Press Corps and guests. Welcome sa Bangon Marawi Briefing. Today we have Philippine Information Agency Director General Harold Clavite. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, thank you, Rocky. Good morning, Malacanang Press Corps. Maayong buntag, Pilipinas. We welcome you now to another edition of Bangon Marawi Press Briefing. It is my pleasure to introduce today's panel from the City Government of Marawi, no less than Mayor Mahulgan Damra. We are also joined by Task Force Bangon Marawi Undersecretary Falconi Ace Millar. He's also the Secretary General of HUDCC. And of course, we are joined today also by Ms. Luna Kakanando, the President and CEO of Small Business Corporation. Before we give the floor to our guests today, we would like to show a short video on Task Force Bangon Marawi's efforts over the previous weeks. Okay, well, we're fixing the audio. I'd like to read some of the information as shown in the video. Recently, the Mindanao State University held its first commencement exercises after the war back in its Marawi campus on January 24th. Around 1,100 students received their diplomas during the ceremony. Senator Sani Angara, chair of the Senate Committee on Local Government, was the guest speaker. During the siege, MSU Marawi, with a campus just 5 kilometers away from the most affected area, had to relocate its graduation rites outside of the city. Also in the video, we are seeing the MOA signing of DOST, the Department of Science and Technology Science Education Institute, tied up with the Mindanao State University and Iligan Institute of Technology to implement the DOST-SEI Bangon Marawi Program in Science and Technology Human Resources Development. A ceremonial signing of the Memorandum of Agreement for program was held in MSU main campus, attended by campus academic heads, faculty members, students, DOST grantees, and scholars. To witness the MOA signing, the representatives of the Task Force Bangon Marawi Technical Working Group were also present in the event as members of the program's Oversight Committee. Another update, as we can see in the video, is the groundbreaking of the military camp in Barangay Kapantaran in Marawi City, which was attended by President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. The groundbreaking ceremony was held on 30th January 2018. The project aims to secure a stronghold and establish a strategic base in the city to prevent the re-entry of Maute ISIS-inspired terrorist groups and protect the region from any security threats. There was also a distribution of certificates of acceptance and occupancy of transitional shelters on the same day. The President led the distribution of 400 certificates of acceptance and occupancy of transitional shelters to residents left homeless by the 5-month battle between government troops and local terrorist groups. ARMM Governor Mujib Hataman, together with national and local officials, witnessed the ceremony on January 30th at the site of the temporary settlement in Barangay Sagunsongan, which is about 4.4 kilometers away from the city center. Also, the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council and the Office of Civil Defense through Task Force Bangon Marawi distributed 352 boxes of non-food items containing kitchenware, sleeping gears, and hygiene kits to the IDPs currently sheltered in Barangay Sagunsongan transitory shelters. The Department of Health also provided and distributed water jugs. The Department of Social Welfare and Development distributed family pabaon packs, sleeping and hygiene kits, along with 5,000 pesos worth of financial assistance per family. There's also an ongoing cash for work assistance per household to address livelihood concerns of residents living in the transitory site. Beneficiaries of this program receive 200 worth of cash per day. Also, the Land Bank of the Philippines launched several financing schemes to aid displaced Marawi residents with their livelihood and in rebuilding infrastructures. The Harvest Program, which is harnessing agribusiness opportunities through robust and vibrant entrepreneurship supportive of peaceful transformation, can provide concessional loans to agribusiness enterprises, farmers' cooperatives, MSMEs, and several organizations for capital investments. It is financed through the 1.76 billion official development assistance from Japan International Cooperation Agency, or JICA. The ODA is specifically intended to help expand opportunities for investments and jobs in Marawi and also other conflict-affected areas in Mindanao. Another financing assistance is the Calamity Rehabilitation Support Program. Through this program, existing clients of the bank in Marawi and other municipalities in Lanao del Sur may avail loan restructuring, while new clients may enter into a loan with lower interest rates and with longer payment tenor. Land Bank also arranged a special credit program that will be available to cooperatives, small and medium enterprises, non-government organizations, countryside financial institutions, schools, universities, and colleges, and even the LGUs, the local government units. Also, there were private donations that came in the past 2 weeks. I Am Pinoy, Proud Ako, a group of overseas Filipino workers from New York City and other parts of the United States and the world, through Task Force Bangon Marawi, donated 400 school bags to the children of the affected families in the Biyaya ng Pababago transitional site on January 29th. For the part of PCOO and PIA's Information Management and Strategic Communications Support Group, a Servicio Caravan was conducted on February 6th and 8th to bring the government services closer to affected communities. There were services including medical checkup and distribution of medicine by DOH, dental tips for children, free text and call, which was facilitated by DICT, and also DSWD opened a grievance desk, and the Office of the City Mayor, through the local civil registry, also provided services to the people. An art workshop was conducted for the children and youth. There was a magic show and performances from volunteers provided entertainment to the children while the services were going on. More than 1,000 residents of barangays Bacolod Chico, Tuca, Toros, and Lumbaca Toros in Marawi participated in the caravan. The second day was held in the Biyaya ng Pagbabago transitional site in Barangay Sagunsongan. Now, I give you Mayor Mahul Gandamra for his opening statement.
Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. I think with the updates given by Secretary Clavite, it is more than enough to inform the public on what's happening through Marawi City. And if you may allow me, I would just like to answer some queries later on. Thank you po.
Yusek Ace Millar.
Mayong buntag. For the updates in the most affected area in Marawi, EO 49 series of 2018, signed by our President Duterte on February 5 and released on the same date, has already been published. This the executive order designated NHA, a key shelter agency, key shelter agency of HUDC, to be the lead implementing agency in the master development of the most affected area. Also, yesterday we have already published the guidelines, the JV guidelines for the unsolicited proposal, for the proposals from the proponents for the development of the most affected area covering 24 barangays in Marawi City. The deadline that we have set for any unsolicited proposals for submission of these proposals would be on February 12, Monday. That would be Monday. On February 13, we are convening the Bangon Marawi Selection Committee for the details. And also on February 14, there will be a Task Force Bangon Marawi all-members meeting. This would be the first all-members meeting for 2018. The processing of the unsolicited proposals would be from February 13 to 18. This will be done by a 14 department members for the technical working group processing the unsolicited proposals. We have maintained our deadlines that the groundbreaking ceremony for the development of the most affected area to be on the last week of April 2018. Maraming salamat po.
And we call on the president of Small Business Corporation, Ms. Kakanando.
Yeah. Magandang umaga po. I'm Luna. The SB Corp is a GOCC created under the Magna Carta for MSMEs. We are under the DTI. We manage the P3 Fund, Pondo sa Pagbabago at Pag-asenso, which is a 1 billion fund yearly starting 2017. So in 2018, the SB Corp board has allocated 100 million for lending to Marawi micro-entrepreneurs, including tricycle operator drivers, public market vendors, under very soft terms. In fact, the interest rate for loans released to Marawi residents up to April will be interest-free. And then after April, it will still be a soft loan of 1% per month. And we hope to regularize the system in 2019 for sustainability. We also have allocated 50 million for the families of killed in action and wounded in action soldiers. These are also, we call it an investment fund, where the fund is payable over 5 years, but no repayment required during the first 2 years, and interest rate is really very low at 2% per year. So maybe I will just receive your questions later on.
Thank you, Ms. Luna. Before we pass on the microphone to Rocky for the questions, I'd like to give a few minutes to Mayor Gandamra to provide latest updates on the recent Kambalingan that took place a couple of days ago and the upcoming ones. Sir.
Yes, thank you. Thank you again. The recent Kambalingan took place last February 7 of the 4 barangays such as Olo Ambulong, Pagalamatan Gambae, Kadayunan 1, and Bubunga Kadayunan. As of today, a total of 63 barangays have returned out of the 72 barangays considered as cleared areas by the security forces. Roughly 38,000 families have returned to Marawi City, and we hope to bring all the residents from the cleared barangays back home this month, or as soon as possible. And the remaining 13 barangays will be scheduled soon upon the advice of the security forces. Residents from the remaining portions of the 3 Sadok areas, such as Sadok proper, Lelod Sadok, and Raya Sadok, identified as near the danger zone or no-bail zone areas, had their home visitation yesterday, and areas considered as cleared will be scheduled for return anytime soon again upon the advice of the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police. Thank you po.
Okay, MPC question, Rose Novenario.
Hi, good morning, sir, Mayor. Meron po kayo monitor ng mga bagong pagkilos o may nagre-regroup pa po ba uling other terrorist group po sa Marawi or other adjacent areas po?
Based po doon sa report few weeks ago, sa Marawi po ay wala pong reported yung recruitment of this ISIS-inspired group. But as to the other municipalities, ayon po sa report ng ating Armed Forces of the Philippines and other security forces, ay meron pong mga areas na may possibilities that nagkakaroon ho ng mga recruitment, but ito po ay na-address ng ating security forces.
Ano yung reaction nyo dun sa pagpayag ng Supreme Court po dun sa extension ng martial law sa Mindanao? Palagay nyo po ba makakatulong ito sa ganap na pagbangon ng Marawi?
Well, nandyan na po yung martial law, and on the part of the local government of Marawi City, we supported the extension of the martial law. And as to the yung decision ng Supreme Court in confirming the validity of the expansion, the extension of martial law, ay tayo po ay naniniwala na makakatulong po, especially in addressing itong sinasabi natin na the possibilities of recruitment of would-be members of this ISIS-inspired group. So yan po ay malaking tulong po on top of the yung may tutulong nila during this impending reconstruction and rebuilding of Marawi City.
Thank you, sir.
MPC questions? Pia Gutierrez, ABS-CBN.
Hi, kay Yusek Villar, sir. Sir, how many groups have submitted their unsolicited proposals for Marawi?
Wala pang nag-submit. Based on the informal communications that we received, we expect about 5 or 6 proponents who would be submitting unsolicited proposals on Monday. That's going to be on February 12. That's the deadline that we have told them that the deadline would be February 12.
Sir, will we be accepting proposals from foreign groups?
Yes, actually, based on the informal communications that relate to us, foreign companies have signified their intention to participate in the master development of Marawi.
Saan bansa po ito, sir?
Based on the informal communications, coming from China and Malaysia.
Okay, thank you, Pia. Questions, MPC? Maricel Halili, TV5.
Hi, sir. Good morning. Sir, European Union, kasama dun sa mga nag-offer ng assistance?
Wala kaming natanggap na intent from the European Union.
Mayor, may we just have your reaction on the plan of the government to build a second military camp in Marawi? Because I understand some of the Moro groups are not into the idea.
Maraming salamat po sa katanungan. At yes, of course, during the, in fact, there was this groundbreaking ceremony when the President was in Marawi City. Nagkaroon po tayo ng groundbreaking ceremony of the new establishment of battalion camp doon po sa may Barangay Kapantaran, Marawi City. And meron ho tayong mga naririnig na mga iba't ibang opinion from the different sectors. And of course, we respect their opinion. But at the end of the day, ang ating importante naman dito ay kaya natin gagawin dito because we want to address we want to strengthen the security measures that is being imposed that is being employed by the government. At siguro ang nangyari ho sa Marawi City ay isang malaking lesson na dapat po talaga we have to strengthen our security forces, yung presence ng security forces sa Marawi City and Llano del Sur. So, but of course, we have to conduct dialogue with the different sectors para nang sa ganun po ay maliwanagan sila, ma-enlighten sila sa ang purpose ng establishment ng new camp.
So, sir, as far as the local government is concerned, you are in favor of building the second camp?
Yes, of course, because gusto namin na talagang mas strengthen yung presence ng security forces to address all possible security threats sa ating lugar.
Pero sir, how will this affect yung mga rehabilitation at saka pagpa-provide ng assistance doon sa mga residente? Because I understand ang concern nila is baka instead daw na makapag-focus on the assistance para sa kanila, ma-divert pa yung funding doon sa building of the camp.
As to the I think Yusik Miller can answer that. But again, as compared doon sa budgetary allocation intended for the rehabilitation and reconstruction of Marawi City, doon naman sa gagastusin doon sa pag-establish ng new camp is very minimal. Hindi ho ganun kalaki para maapektuhan ang reconstruction and rehabilitation of Marawi City.
Yusek Ace Villar.
The President has been very, very consistent in his pronouncements that money will be spent for the rehabilitation of Marawi. In fact, last January 30, he reiterated that this administration will spend money for the rehabilitation of the most affected area and the entire Marawi City. The construction of a new military camp in Marawi City will not in any way impede the rehabilitation of Marawi. In fact, the task force Bangon Marawi is so focused that we are maintaining our timelines for the development of the most affected area in Marawi City.
Okay, thank you, Maricel. Rosalie Cos, to be followed by Henry Uri.
Hi sir, kay Sir Villar po. Sir, pwede niyo po sa aming i-disclose yun pong most essential parts nun pong guidelines regarding sa unsolicited proposal?
Ma'am, yung guidelines po natin na-publish kahapon sa Inquirer at saka sa isang tabloid po kahapon. So, nandun lahat. Meron tayong mga parameters, 16 parameters na nakapaloob dun sa guidelines. Minimum scope of the Master Development Plan.
Okay, thank you, Rosalie. Henry, microphone, please.
Hi, good morning, sir. Matanong lang ho namin yung mga bidders, kung may nanalo na ba, tapos na ba ang bidding, sino-sino na ho yung mga bidders na nabigyan ng award para ho dito sa konstruksyon ng mga pabahay?
Dun sa Master Development Plan, ang deadline na sinabit namin for the submission of the proponents for their proposals would be February 12. Doon sila magsasubmit ng kanilang proposals. Unsolicited to, and then we will start the processing of the unsolicited proposal by February 13. So siguro this will take a week hanggang February 18. The technical working group will be processing all the proposals and submit the scorecards to the Bangon Marawi Selection Committee.
Pero today is February 9, tama
Yes.
po ba? No? May mga nagsumite na ho ba? Meron na bang nagpadala na sa inyo ng interest na sumali sa bidding?
Mayroon tayong mga informal communications that they will be submitting proposals, and then we told them that February 12 yung deadline namin. So most probably all of them will submit on February 12.
Paano po paano kayo magiging transparent sa pagpapakita sa publiko na wala pong magiging anumang anomalya itong prosesong ito?
Ang technical working group natin, 14-man to, coming from different departments. And then also, meron tayong representative ng COA na nandun in every phase of the technical working group processing. And then after that, after ng processing ng technical working group, all the scorecards, all the proponents with scorecards will be submitted to the Bangon Marawi Selection Committee, which the Bangon Marawi Selection Committee will act as the Bids and Awards Committee, who would recommend to the chairman of the task force Bangon Marawi the original proponent status. And then after that, the original proponent status will be subjected to a Swiss challenge, wherein the public may again submit their proposals contesting the original proponent.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Pia Gutierrez.
Yusek Villar, dun po sa end of April na groundbreaking po natin, na deadline, ano po yung in-expect natin, sir, doon?
Nakapaloob nga dun sa pinablis natin na JB guidelines, yung minimum parameters dun sa master development. So yung in-expect natin dyan is that we will be, that would signal the start of the rehabilitation of the most affected areas, which is composed of 24 barangays in Marawi.
So start pa lang, sir, yung
Yes.
April.
Yeah.
And how long do we think, or siniset natin, sir, based on the guidelines, yung time frame ng entire construction, sir?
No later than December 2021.
Okay, thank you. Pia, questions? MPC? Okay, DG Clavite.
Yes, thank you, Rocky. Thank you, MPC. As if we don't have questions anymore, we will close today's briefing. But before we do so, we'd like to encourage everyone to keep following us on social media to get more updates, since we're doing the briefing only every other Friday. So for any updates in between, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook, Bangon Marawi PH. And we would also like to announce that the Task Force Bangon Marawi will have an exhibit booth during the National Information Convention that's being organized by PCOO and PIA in SMX Convention Center in Davao City on the 19th to 21st of February 2018. So we encourage everyone to watch the event through live streaming via PTV4 and Facebook Live. Maraming salamat po.
Okay, thank you, DJ Clavite. Thank you, Mayor Gandambra. Thank you, Yusek Ace Villar and Miss Fernando. Back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and PTV.